Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's episode 28 of the Knitting Posse podcast, and we're really glad to see you. I'm Lorian.
I'm Kate.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Laura.
And we are coming to you. Today we're recording on Monday, February 22nd, 23rd. I don't know what it is, around then, from Wilton, Connecticut. And we're excited to be with you. It's been a few weeks since we saw you last, but we're happy to be here and share just what we've been working on and be together with each other. The first thing we want to do is thank everyone for participating in our prize for $4,000 subscriber. $4,000 would have been a real big prize. But our 4,000 subscriber giveaway. And we announced that the last time on our last episode, and the comments were bountiful and varied and interesting and really hard for us to keep up with this time.
Yeah.
Usually we're on the ball with responses. But I will say, if you are looking for inspiration or ideas for a new project, check out the comments in episode 27, because there are some really great things.
Hundreds of ideas.
Yep.
Yeah.
586, I believe, was the number.
Oh, really? I thought it was even
Comments.
more than that.
Yep.
Wow. And I can't say that there was one pattern that stood out. Like
No.
hearing about it over and over, like,
Nope.
whichever. But I was surprised about that.
Variety.
Yes. Yeah.
I added a lot to my favorites.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it was really refreshing. And I think it was great. I think even when we've done another giveaway on YouTube, we just got a lot more comments, and maybe it's because there were more chances to win. I know that's always an incentive. So without further ado, we're gonna share our winners. So the first prize we're going to announce was the winner of our Hedgehog Fiber sock yarn. It's 2 skeins of their sock, and the color is called Poison. It's a black and a vibrant red, and 2 skeins is going to go a long way. It is for, let me see. Oh, they don't put the yardage on here, but it's at least 400 meters. I think it's a 437 because I've knit quite a bit with it. So that'll make a really fun prize. And our winner of the Hedgehog sock skeins is Debbie Bolt.
That's right. Debbie said she's knitting all the things. A child's sock arms sweater, little boxes beanies, 3 of them, vanilla socks, laurel sweater, pine cone cardigan, amber short shawl, that's hard to say, and the world's simplest mittens. So Debbie's a very busy gal.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Debbie.
Well,
Our next prize was this beautiful bag from Becky of Mystic Makers. It has her whale pattern on the outside and these little golden fish on the inside. Here is her label. And Becky was really sweet and ran a coupon code for our viewers. That's over now, but we're really happy to support her business. Hopefully did some shopping. And the winner of the Mystic Makers project bag is Susan Cormack.
Yep. And Susan said she's knitting the Delilah by Lenny, L-E-N-E.
Boy.
Lenny, yeah.
I don't
Sure.
know. I'm guessing.
Yeah. She said, so far, so good. But the sweater is the Delilah. And thanks for your podcast, she said. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fabulous. Our next prize is a bag, a pine cone bag, and you're going to be twinning or quintupling with the 4 of us because we each have them as well. These are from You Got a Bag. Is it Tish?
Tish.
Tish from You Got a Bag. And I don't know, for me, this bag has just been so.
It's a great size.
It is.
Yeah, it's a great size, but it's snowing out. We've had snow. I feel like we've had an entire season's worth of snow in the last 2 weeks, or more snow than we've had in the past. So our winner of the You Got a Bag is Kelly Olson.
And Kelly said she's knitting 4 different things right now. Mittens, my first colorwork sweater, a blanket, and a shawl.
Nice.
Fantastic. And then our fourth prize, Kate is going to show our knit collage set, which is, I can't remember the basis. Is it
Spun
Spun
Cloud.
Cloud?
And the other one.
Right, the other one. It's a fabric-y base, which you
Yes.
wound into a ball, but it's the pretty much the full skein of it.
It's pretty close to a full skein. Yes. Yes.
And they look really pretty together. So our winner of the knit collage set is Renee Wild.
Renee is finishing up a romper for her granddaughter using Olive Knits yarn. So
And look,
congratulations.
Granddaughter.
Yes, congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you to all of our subscribers. We're having fun with you. We hope you're having fun with us.
We'll reach out to them on YouTube and send a message.
Can we
Yes.
do that on YouTube?
I think we'll go back to their comment
Okay.
and
Take
make a
their
comment.
addresses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or they could go to Instagram and message us
Message us
also.
if
That
they-
would be even easier.
That's
That would be
easier
the
for
fastest
us.
way to get your prize,
That's the
most
fastest
likely,
way.
Yes.
is to message us through our Instagram account, which is knitting_posse, and the four of us all access that and post to it. So we'd love to hear from you there if that's if you've tuned in.
Congratulations to our winners.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's fun to do giveaways. I think I like to enter them, but I think it's also fun to be a winner and fun to just be a part of something else. So without further ado, let's talk about what we are wearing. Kate, do you want to go first?
Sure. I am wearing my Only FO. This is my Autumn League pullover. It's by Alexandra Tavel. She's called Two of Wands. This I knit in the Sublime yarn Isabella. It's 55% wool and 45% cotton. I modified it to knit in the round, and I added, which I've never done before, a faux seam. You might remember I said I was going to add a faux seam to Devon's Jaden when I knit that by Isabel Kramer, but I got like an inch into it and I didn't like the faux seam, so I picked it out and just knit. This one is a faux seam. It's Elizabeth Zimmerman's faux seam, and I saw a tutorial. It's linked on my project page on how to do it, and you knit it all, and then once you finish knitting, you drop that one line of stitches all the way to the bottom, and then you pick up two ladders and then one ladder, and two ladders and one ladder, two ladders and one ladder, all the way up. So I really like the way it looks, actually. And then also this has a tubular bind off on both the sleeves and the bottom. So I kind of learned how to do that as well. I've done it before. On the sleeves, I actually went down like 2 needle sizes because it can tend to flare out a little bit. And it was doing so on the bottom, but once I blocked it, it actually kind of blocked out nicely. So I didn't need to re-knit it on the bottom. But the link to the video that I used for the tubular bind off is also on my Ravelry project page. So
Nice.
that is
Did you
my,
slip your stitches? Like Andrea Mowry teaches you to slip your pearls onto a second needle to do a
No.
tubular bind off?
no, I did it. I did a 1 needle tubular bind off. It's also called like a sewn bind off or a Kitchener bind off.
Yeah.
So it's very much like the Kitchener stitch. It's like knit on, pearl off, pearl on, knit off.
Yeah. I'm liking that bind off lately too.
I actually really like it too. It's like seamless. It kind of just rolls over the edge. I don't know if you can
It
see
looks
it
really
there,
good.
It does look great.
you.
Mhm.
Thank you. So this is just like a comfy, cozy sweatshirt, snowy day kind of sweater.
To go with your root sweatpants.
I actually put jeans on today,
What?
but yes.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Next.
So that's it.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Kim?
I have on my finished Hanging Leaves by Beth McDonald Stone and made out of Kelborn Woolen Scout in the Sunflower Heather colorway. and really happy with this sweater. I'll try to do
It's beautiful.
There's the dog gate. It's just kind of a blousey type fit sweater. Like I said last time, I love knitting the lace part of it. And I think maybe I like it because it does go faster, but I love the design that shows up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That was so impressive to me. So thank you, Beth. And definitely check that one out. It was fun to knit and it fits great.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Mm. It
Oh,
looks
and
like a really
block.
good match of yarn to pattern.
Yeah, right. Then I stole that from Marilisa from Girl Meets Yarn. She had used the same color and yarn, but I had used that yarn before, so I knew it would bloom well. And it's just a fun yarn to work with too. Not too woolly, but I do need a shirt on underneath. Just enough.
If only to show off the lace.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It looks great with the black there. You can really
Yeah,
get this
right.
pop.
Yeah.
Good pop. Thank you.
It's really pretty.
Thank you.
Laura, you're up.
All right, I'm so sorry. This sweater is black and it's going to be very hard, but this is the London sweater by Helga Isayer, and I'm having a little love affair with Isayer yarns and patterns. I actually bought a couple of books. There's a couple of sweaters that are sort of percolating in my head, but this is a bottom up. It's supposed to be narrower here and it gets wider here. I just did it straight. You knit from the bottom up, join the shoulders with a cool, I'm so sorry, you can't see it. It's like a ribbing. It's so hard to show off a black sweater. I'm so sorry. But it's alpaca 3, which is an Aran weight, but it's a chain construction. So it's really light and soft and cozy for a snowy day. And I really, really like it. It's by Helga Isayer. I think I said that. And I find their yarns to be really nice. They're not cheap, but they're not expensive. They're sort of nice in the middle, and I'm really happy with it. And I'm sorry you can't see it better. I'll try to, I've been very bad about posting on Instagram.
And Ravelry.
Yeah, I was never good. I was never good about posting on Ravelry, but I will try to take some pictures of it and post it because it's a really pretty sweater. It's a reverse stocking knit. I know you probably can't tell that.
Oh, you couldn't tell that at all.
No.
Oh yeah.
What weight is the yarn that you use?
It's an Aran weight. I knit it on a 10.5 needle.
Oh, wow.
Which is really fun. I haven't done something like that in a while, and it was just really fun. It kind of flew. Oh, and the other thing I was going to say, and I'm going to post this link maybe in the show notes. I was really struggling with, because you knit the body and then you pick up the sleeves and knit in reverse stocking it down. And I thought maybe in the reverse stocking that it wouldn't look as bad, and it looked terrible. I was sending these guys pictures of it, and I found an awesome link, and it's hard to explain, and I'll just, maybe we can post it in the show notes, of how to avoid laddering with the magic loop, because it really worked for me. It was a little fiddly and it took a little more time, but it was so worth it because I have no laddering.
And you've tried every which way.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think on Modern Daily Knitting, it might have been Patty Lyons who said this, I'm not sure. Laddering can, like, you think it's coming because you're too loose going from needle to needle, but I think I'm actually going too tight. And with magic loop, when you pull the needle out, obviously the stitch that was the last stitch is now not held by the needle, it's held by the cord. And I actually think that the laddering for me is coming from pulling too tight because I don't want to ladder, so I yank it. And anyway, this technique worked perfectly and helped with that. So I was really happy to find it. So.
I was happy for you.
Yeah.
I still don't like magic loop
Right.
doing small circumferences because it was really fiddly. It took me a long time to finish this, relatively speaking, a long time to finish the sleeves, but at least they look good.
Definitely. It looks like a good technique to help with the laddering. It's not making it faster though.
No, if anything,
Right.
it slows it down a little bit.
Right. So
I have no
it's useful.
laddering, which
Mhm.
is a huge
That's your goal.
Yeah.
So it was worth
Definitely.
it.
All right, I am wearing a sweater that I talked, I think, a lot about in our last video, and I made a separate video on it because I turned a pullover into a cardigan. This is my pink velvet cardigan version. It's by Andrea Mowry. I knit it in Barocco fine wool and Yarn Habits, Surrey Habits. I feel like the color could be a little bit blown out here. So here's a more close up.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a fingering weight sweater, so it has a lot of drapes. So this is what's kind of, this is what's happening with it. It's folding out. I decided to do, I can't remember how far along I was. I didn't watch our last video. I decided to do new buttons on the button band. I picked up the collar before the button band and I blocked it once it was all done. I cut the steek and then blocked. It has its own video if you're interested in a little more a special episode, I guess, on some of my thoughts in the process of converting a pullover to a cardigan. So feel free to step back, I think maybe 26 and a half, or I don't remember what it was. I think it's
No,
its own
that was
video.
the sock sesh.
Okay, so it doesn't have a number.
I don't think it has a number. Yeah.
No number, but it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
It was something I did in January or February. I'm pleased with it. I feel like if I'd used the yarn, the primary yarn, the non-Surrey yarn is very thin, very fine. And so it's not giving the structure that maybe a
What if you
thicker
put a
yarn would.
button just at the very top?
I sometimes just stick my hair clip. I'll wear a teeny little hair clip, or maybe a shawl. I don't know if I had like a sweet little pin. I
Do
actually
you have the jewel
The jewel
buttons?
yeah.
I don't have the jewel buttons, but I have a sweet little like bar pin that
Yeah.
Pretty.
that would be cute. Then it sort of flares out here. It's fine. It's not, to me, I think fingering like lightweight cardigans have like an all year use. I wear them in the summer. I wear them anytime. I like all sweaters, cardigans and pullovers. So, but I definitely recommend, if you prefer a cardigan that you take and you're comfortable steeking or just want an adventure, this is a really good pattern for making that leap. Hopefully Andrea sees this and she just writes the cardigan pattern for you. So I don't think she saw any of my posts with it. Yeah, but that's what I'm wearing. Moving on, finished objects beyond what we're wearing.
Just what I'm wearing. That's my only FO.
All right.
I have two little things and they're so adorable. Someone my husband's working with is having a baby and he asked me to knit up a little baby.
Oh,
The baby's not born yet, probably today or tomorrow. Just a simple little infant newborn hat. It's called Sea Monkey Baby hat and by Kelly McClure. And I had some Barocco vintage left over and the Misty colorway. Such a cute little hat. I always forget how tiny babies are.
I know, right?
And they have a toddler girl already. So I couldn't not
No.
her little hat too.
Oh.
And that one's called Lacy Gracie hat. And again, I had the Barocco color, vintage and the fondant colorway. And I'll post the in our show notes there the names and the designers of those two hats. So
Oh,
that's
adorable.
it's so cute. So good luck to them and their sweet little baby.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then this was my finished object. So
Laura, do you have anything?
I do, and I'm going to continue on the baby theme. I have a neighbor who had a baby a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to apologize right now because this pattern is no longer available, and it's the cutest thing I have ever It is, it's called the Teddy Sweater. It's designed by a woman named Terry Cruz, Kruse. And for some reason, none of her patterns are for sale anymore on Ravelry. And it's not like she directs to her website or anything. This is Malabrigo Arroyo yarn. It's a sport weight. It's in a deep navy blue, like a hand dyed, and then a white pocket that you do a little what do you call that,
Embellishment.
yeah, but what's the duplicate stitch? and a little button. And how stinking cute is that?
It's adorable.
So cute. So I knit a size 12 months, figuring, you know, he wouldn't wear it yet, but so now that I've shown it, I can wrap it up in.
Perfect.
That's what I told Jay. I'm like, Dan can't have the baby yet because we're podcasting today. But tonight he can have the baby,
Yeah.
or his wife.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I have a finished object. It's a hat. I'm just gonna stick it on because it shows best this way. And it was.
How did Picky Husband like it?
He loves it, but you know, when it's not a surprise, when you can knit to fit, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
So I knit it in this yarn, which is by La Bien-Aimée. Thank you very much to my mom, who, when she was in Paris, when she last traveled, I don't know, maybe 2 falls ago, she found her way to La Bien-Aimée and picked up some yarn for me. This is the Merino DK. It's in the colorway The North. And my husband loved these colors. So Mom, I finally knit with some of the yarn you bought me. I saved it. You couldn't knit it like right away. And I used, my husband liked this. He wanted a new hat. And I used some of the textured stitch pattern from the Twist and Pearl hat designed by Angie Moore, but I made some modifications otherwise. So the stitch is different. It has a rolled brim, which is what my husband likes, tubular cast on, and the decreases I just kind of figured out and fudged along. So he likes it. He likes a very dense fabric in his hat. So I'm so glad he has it because now I can knit my other things. So that is my other finished object. Awesome. So moving on to whips.
Okay. My first one is my old school sweater by Vera Velmaki. This has been in timeout, I think, the past 2 podcasts. It came out of timeout after the last podcast.
Oh my.
Wow.
Cruising right along.
Yeah, you cranked through that.
Woo,
Now I
dude.
can see the color too.
I love the color. It's Cashmere People's yarn. I don't think I have the tag in here, but I believe the color name is, and that's not showing up, Evergreen. And it's so green. It's so good. But I'm doing, I finished the body, at least to the length of the pattern. I have not done the ribbing yet because I do have a little bit of yarn still left, and I'm going to finish the sleeves first because I may do a little bit more on the body after doing the sleeves. And I'm doing the sleeves one at a time just because of the lace. And there are some things that happen on the bend here that I can't account for if I'm doing 2 at a time, or I probably could, but not with my brain capacity right now as it is. So I'm doing them one at a time, and I've been cruising along on it. So I'm really happy with it. And that should be done by my birthday. And then also I actually put it down for the past couple of days because I'm a sock knitter. So I am knitting a basic toe-up sock with Yuriko Oki. She's doing a knit a sock in 5 days challenge. And it's really like 8 days because she'll give you a couple of lessons and then she'll give you like a knitting day in between so you can get them done. I am using Barnyard Knits, my one-of-a-kind colorway that Lorian gifted me for Christmas. And I think they look like vanilla socks. So I am she has us knitting. Today's homework is we're supposed to be to the 2 inches from the heel line. I still have like an inch to go. So I have to finish that. And then we do a setup for what is it? A cutting wheel?
Afterthought.
Afterthought.
Afterthought
Yes.
wheel.
Yes. So that's where I have to get to today. And I like it. The needles and the yarn are so tiny, and I've done so much knitting on them this weekend that my hands are a little achy. So I do have to stop and take frequent breaks and like stretching. And so I'm being really careful with that. But
Does she have you do it 2 at a time, or are you just doing that?
I am doing it 2 at a time. A few other people are doing it 2 at a time as well. Okay. I think like for me, this is the only way I would do them. And even with the sleeves, like I'm so sad I have to do that old school 1 at a time, because I love just getting them done. You know, like when they're done, they're done. It does take a little longer because you have to, you know, manipulate the things around the needles.
But you'll never have second sock syndrome.
Exactly.
Which I still have with, I gave Colin 1 sock for Christmas and I still haven't finished the second one. It's like halfway done and I just need to get to it. And full disclosure, I was going to do this with you and I was really looking forward to it, but I was on a roll with this and I really wanted to finish it. And I didn't start it this weekend, but I'm going to knit some socks, I swear.
Yep.
So Kate, that's a Chow.
This is a Chow. Yep. I believe it's a 1.5 US. And
how many stitches? Remember?
I don't remember. No, she has like a whole formula. We have to measure our foot like in the widest part, and then she had a formula for how many we should do for our specific. It was a lot more actually than yours.
Right.
So I think it may be a little bit bulkier than what I'm going to like for a sock. But for my first vanilla socks, I think it's going to be fine.
Right. And that's a super washable. So you can throw them in the machine, and
right.
You can also put them on your feet now.
I have put them on.
Yeah. So.
Yep. I did that last night. So that is whip number 2. And then I have one more whip that I think I can show you. It's a test knit for Making Stories magazine. And I can show you because this is it.
Oh my gosh.
It's a hat and I wasn't getting gauge and it just wasn't. So that's in the timeout right now.
What yarn is that?
It's a beautiful yarn. And I don't have the tag for that either. I'll look it up while you're talking and I will, I'll get back to you, but it's beautiful. I love the yarn. So even if I go back and complete the hat and don't love the hat, I will unravel it yet again and I will use the yarn for something else.
I read a quote one time, Kate, that said, it was some designer and I don't remember which. And she said, one of the most frequent questions that I get is, should I swatch for a hat? And do you know what her answer was?
Yes.
Only if you want it to fit.
Well, I have never had an issue with hats.
Yeah.
And I had to go down like 2 needle sizes. I never have to go down 2 needle sizes for the brim because I cast it on and I did a few rows and it was humongous. So, and a lot of the other testers, we have like a forum that we can comment in. A lot of the other testers have had gauge issues as well. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to give it one more try and this will be its 3rd strike. And if it doesn't work for me this time, I'm out. So,
well, good try.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's generous. I mean, test knitting is an act of generosity because it's not like you generally get like compensated. You get the pattern early and you get an early release of it. So you're, it's a barter.
Yeah, and it was just a hat. So, and the deadline is not until like April 9th. So I feel like I could put it aside and do my socks. After my socks, I'm going to go back to my old school and finish that, and then I'll go back to that hat. So
Yeah, you have
Oh.
until April. You're good.
exactly. Yeah. April's so far away. Like, look at the snow.
Right.
Might
Right.
still be wearing a hat in April.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right, Kim, what do you have?
Okay, I have 2 whips. One is the Parker Julie Hoover, the long ass cardigan. I finished the whole back panel.
Wow.
So that part's done.
Wow.
Yeah, you know,
Amazing.
I'll tell you why I got to finish it because of the second whip. And I have one of the front panels done. I just finished it last night. It's wider than it looks.
Are you sure?
It's much wider than it looks.
Sure it's done, Kim?
Yeah, look, don't be great. So I'm going to cast on the second front panel today. And after that, it's just the collar, which is done in 2 more panels. And then this 2 sleeves, which I'll do 2 at a time. It's coming along faster than I thought it was.
Awesome.
And yeah, I was surprised.
Awesome.
I think it's just so mindless. It's just knitting and purling and a few, decreases here and there. So I'm watching TV. If we're up in Vermont with, friends or whatever, I can talk and get that done. But I did start my, sweater number, oh, sorry, my dog is hanging on me. Sweater number 12. Is it 12? Yep, by My Favorite Things. And hang on, Laura, you take over this. Oh,
Okay. Yep. All right. So I am. I only have one whip, and you've seen it before, but I'm just going to show it. It is my honeycomb mesh scarf. Wait, that's the right side. It's again really hard. I keep knitting in dark colors, which are hard to show. This is also an Isayer yarn. It's alpaca 2. It's a very fine. It might be fingering, maybe even lace, but it's knit on a size 7. And it's a free church mouse pattern. And you knit it, I think, to something like 56 inches, and then you stretch it and block it to like 78 inches or something like that. It's a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. And it's only 2 balls, and I'm almost finished with one. I can't wait to have this, but it's, it's kind of, I go back and, I'm dying to cast on something else, and, but someday I'll get that done. Everything good, Kim?
Sorry about that. He
No
just
worries.
wanted to appear on the podcast. Anyway, I started sweater number 12 by My Favorite Things, and with the olive knitting for olive yarn. This is the second time I've had to start it. I don't like doing that. The first time was my fault. Well, they're both my fault. The first time I messed up the pattern. It's a broken rib. When I was doing the increases, I forgot to shift over the broken rib. So it wasn't lining up properly. The knits weren't under the knits and pearls not under the pearls. So ripped that back, started over again. And I thought I was on a roll. And for some reason, my increases, I have the correct amount of stitches on the needles right now, but they're not. I must be making increases where I shouldn't be. They're like, I should have like 15 here, and I have like 17 here. It's just not matching up. So I must have just gotten sidetracked and put in stitches where I shouldn't have, and vice versa. So I'm gonna rip it back again. So this has been in my new little bag I bought from Mystic Makers.
Right,
I think that's
her own
why
bag. She's not been borrowing the giveaway bag.
No, I did. I got my own bag. I just think the pattern is so cute.
It's so cute.
So it's kind of been in a timeout. I'm going to zip it up and pretend it's not there. That's why the Julie Hoover got a little bit of attention, which is good. I guess I needed a little push. But I will go back to this because I love this sweater. And it's really, I'm not that far into it, but I hate restarting things. Like it's hard for me to take it apart.
Yeah. Can you do like a little paper checklist or something like that, or
Laura,
something?
I had so many checklists, and I tried to color code my, raglan, my markers, and I just must have gotten cocky. started watching TV or something, and I'm like, I got this, and then I didn't. So
Yeah, because once you get past the raglans,
oh,
it'll
it's done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Done. So it was definitely a my fault situation. So I'll just do it another time. So that's it.
I found my wool for that hat. It's the Stone Wool Company. It's
Mhm.
beautiful. It's a mixture of American Romney and Merino. And it's really beautiful wool. I really
Is that what was specified for the pattern?
yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So
Cool.
So,
Right,
there you
everybody
go.
else had their whips. So I'm going to share my 2 whips. They are studying in opposites. So I'm making this for my daughter. This is the color block peekaboo, patchwork cardigan. This is the back of the sweater. This is also known as the Harry Styles sweater. He did it, his colors are a little different. It is by J.W. Anderson, and I am using this yarn, Impeccable, by, can you see that? Loops
Yep.
and threads. And I have, I think, 5 or 6 colors. It is an acrylic yarn. The entire sweater cost $24 at our local craft store. That's, thank you, Kate. Harry did not do pinks and purples. His is reds and orange. It's a lot of primary red, orange, yellow, green, black.
Do you know who made his?
It's I believe this is J.W. Anderson, like whoever designed it then wrote up the pattern for it.
Oh, okay.
I think.
There was demand.
Yes. The original is knit in more of a bulkier weight yarn. I'm doing an Aran weight, and there are a handful of projects that are done. So I am following, I have to give credit to whoever goes by Wattlesworth. Didn't look up their real name, but on Ravelry, because their project notes were very helpful. And to be honest, it's a much bigger sweater. So this is only 2/3 of what it is originally written to be, but it's written for a man, and my daughter's 15. So we've been resizing it and just making some modifications. I don't know if you can tell from what I held up, every square is a different texture as well. So it makes it kind of interesting. It's knit on pretty much a 10 in this Aran weight version. The yarn is, look, it's acrylic. It's fine. It's nice. And she's a teenager. And is this going to be in fashion in like 4 months? Well, I hope so, because of the work I'm putting in. I don't care so much because I didn't invest what I would invest necessarily in a sweater for me. So it's knit in strips. You knit the blocks in strips. You seam the strips together. You knit the back, then you knit the strips for the front, the strips for the sleeves, and you do some pickup for ribbing and button band. So if I weren't knitting a second sweater right now, that would be cruising along. So that's that project. I am also working on my Noctuidae sweater, which I think I showed the yarn for, and I had not started last episode.
Wow.
Put it on a longer needle. Hopefully you can see.
Wow.
This is the back.
Wow.
I have one more. I have to finish this bit of the black and white, and then I have one more larger moth to go. They're called moths, but they're so colorful. They're butterflies.
Colorful too.
What is?
Moths can be colorful too.
Yeah, that's true. So there's so much I could say about this sweater. It is designed by Catherine Clark, who owns Brooklyn General. She also posts in Instagram under Love is in the Making. The yarns. So this is her yarn line, I think, or proprietary to Brooklyn General. That's the cream color I'm using, called Sky Dance. It's all produced from the yarn and the spinning in New York State. The black, well, this is the other thing. Can you see a difference between these two colors?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so you use the black. I got this in a kit. Use the black, very little, but just as an accent color for, this is Tuku wool. It fell on the floor. Too cool fingering. And you use that as an accent. The black is only to accent the lower wings of the moths. And then spin cycle yarns. And this is dyed in the wool, and the color is called Noctuidae. So this is mine. Not sure what you can see. I got to pick the actual skein of yarn that I wanted to work with, because there's a lot of variety in the color itself. All spin cycle is like this. This is their dyed in the wool, which is their sport weight version. This is the opposite sweater in a lot of ways. It's a fingering, heavy fingering, or sport here. It probably cost 10 times or close to what the other sweater cost, maybe a little bit less. It was a kit. I have 4 skeins of the Sky Dance. I think if I use 3, and I didn't probably need an extra, but this is how it was. It was kitted, and I really wanted to honor the design as it was designed.
Lorian, how many skeins of the spin cycle is it? Is
One.
it just one?
It's just one.
Did you like pull to make the color?
So I didn't want green. I didn't want green moths. It wasn't in my vision. So I took the green out where I ran into green, these 2 little bits. I think I'm not going to use it all. I can see, who's knit it before in my size and how much it's using. So there are also so many techniques in this. I mean, this piece, your part up here is the back. When do you ever see color work that has its own pattern just in your back short rows, to raise the back? That was color work knit flat. Much of this is color work knit in the round. When I think I'm going to make a separate video because I have a lot to say about this pattern, but it's what I think I heard some of the test knitters. So I was watching this sweater because as it was being test knit, because I sort of was captivated by it. And this was not in my plans to knit something this specific, or I don't know. Tedious is not quite the right word, but something that required so much attention to detail. This year I wanted easy knits, just things that were going to look beautiful, tested, tried and true patterns. And yeah, I tried, and I have been, but
it's only February. You made it through January.
I know. But this just spoke to me. And there are a lot of things. It uses so many techniques. There's duplicate stitch, there's stranded knitting, there's back and forth flat knitting. The sleeves are knit flat and then seamed, and they have color work on them. So I was just watching as these test knitters were doing it, and I was seeing a few people were saying that like knitting 3 colors was challenging. And I personally don't find that. What I find about that challenging is figuring out where to catch your floats and how often and where to be catching your floats to try to still have a fabric that isn't pulling because of the float. So that is what I would say is a little bit tricky. Color management and yarn dominance. Also, I think I put it in my Instagram. There was a section where I did not like how the colors were showing up based on which ones I was holding in my dominant hand and which one I was holding in my non-dominant hand. So there's just been a lot to this project. I love it. I'm really pleased. I'm happy with the color choices. I didn't really want it to look like a rainbow, which is why I pulled the green out. And I think for my last moth, I'm going to use as much of the pinky red color as I can, and we'll see what happens with the sleeves. The people who test knit it, because I was following them, have started watching as I progress through this and are sort of cheering me on, I think, or will give some comments, which is really nice. And you just feel this kinship, because this is not an easy,
not for the faint of heart
project. No, you have to want it, I think. So I love this Sky Dance yarn. I can't say enough about it. I'm pretty sure I'll have an extra skein, and I guess I'm glad to use it. I don't know if I'll get it done by my birthday, by Kate's birthday, but
it'll be done by Laura's.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I only have 40 more rows of the body of the chart, and then a little more ribbing, and it has a folded hem and a duplicate stitched message in the hem. So it just, there's a lot to it.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in it. So I'm being good about not setting deadlines for myself, because that would make it really not fun. I feel like I have a lot of admiration for the people who did test it, because they knit this on a deadline, and I don't think I would have enjoyed that at all.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
No?
Yep.
You're done before you know it.
Well, I want to be able to have it, at least wear it once while it's still cold here. So that's the only timeline goal I have set for myself. So look, it's been what, 3 weeks since we last recorded, and I've had nothing. So now I have most of it, a lot of the sweater. So while knitting on a few other things. So so I think I don't know, it's a separate video because I've already talked enough about it, because I have a lot more to say. It's just beautifully designed. So moving on from my little love affair with my up to a day. Anybody have any acquisitions? Kate? No.
Oh, Laura.
Okay.
I
Laura's got
shared mine
some.
earlier. My little bag.
Yeah. So I have been wanting to knit from my favorite things.
You're doing it. I'm so
Sweater.
jealous.
Sweater number 11. I've wanted to knit this for a while, and I kept getting hung up on the fact that this is it's either like a worsted or an Aran held. I think it's an Aran held together with a mohair. And I kept going through the projects and looking, and I honestly don't know how I figured this out. Last week at some point, I had actually bought another yarn and swatched for it and returned this 10 skeins that I hadn't opened up because I just didn't like it. And then last week I came across, and I don't remember how, this Amano Warmi. It doesn't look it, but it's listed as an Aran weight, and it came on Saturday. I swatched yesterday.
Ooh.
And it is, this yarn is gorgeous. It is 50%, I'm sorry, 70% baby alpaca and 30% merino wool. So it's going to be very hard to see, but it has a little bit of a halo, but nothing like a mohair halo, but it has a little bit of a halo. It's soft, but it's got beautiful drape. And I think it's going to be stunning for this sweater. This is going to be my uniform. Like, and it's only in 3 sizes, and per her instructions, I should knit the middle size, but I'm not going to, because she calls for something like well over 15 inches of ease, and it's just, that's too big for me. So I'm trying to finish up a couple of other things, but I'm dying to cast this on.
That sort of reminds me of the terrazzo, the same sort of, the one I made with the Noro.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah, that one's been.
Yeah, so this has got my name written all over it. I love the twisted rib. I love the high-low hem. I love the kind of boxy. Like I said, I'm going to do the smaller one because I just think it might be a little too over.
You'll get lost in it.
I'm smaller on top and bigger on bottom, and I like a little bit oversized, but I love that. And this yarn, I blocked it and left it overnight, and
it makes a beautiful fabric.
It's so nice, and I can't wait. I'm sure I'm not gonna be able to help myself, and I'm gonna cast it on sooner than I should, but
did someone else knit in that yarn, Laura?
No, I honestly don't. I go down the rabbit holes, and I've done that with this sweater lots and lots of times and just not figured it out. And I have one favorited. I have one in my favorites folder that I was sort of looking at, but I'm just not enthralled with knitting with 2 yarns with a mohair. It's just, I'm kind of over it. And I don't know how I found this, but the yarn, like, how usually there's like a gauge range. This only had 1, and it was exactly the gauge of the sweater. So I was like, I'm going to try it. And I ordered the skeins, and I, just like I did with the other yarn, I opened up one. I'm like, if I have to return the other 7 skeins, I had to get 8 of this, you know, I'll open one and swatch it, and it's perfection.
Where did
very-
you order it?
Where?
Yeah, because I thought they sold that at Nancy O's, that yarn.
Oh, I'm so bad. I really have been ordering online. I got it from Wool & Company, which is a great website. They're very responsive. I can't remember what day I ordered it, but it came on Saturday, and I ordered it midweek
Love that.
last week. And then, like I said, I swatched it yesterday on Sunday, and I could cast on tonight if I really wanted to. But
What weight is that yarn?
well, it says it's an Aran, and it's hard to show, but like, it doesn't look like an Aran at all. But it kind of blooms a little bit when you soak it. It's definitely something that needs soaking, although it's not for softness, but I definitely think it bloomed a little bit from, yeah, this is like a uniform sweater. Like, cause I think I've said a million times, I wear jeans almost every day, and just a nice, cozy, big white sweater. I'm excited. So that's my acquisition. I've actually been really good. I've been returning yarn. I've actually sold a fair amount of yarn. I have knitted, I don't have my list, but I've already knitted from my list that I created, my stash busting. I've already done like 6 or 7 things already.
Wow.
So quite a few of them were little, but hats and whatever. But I'm excited for this. So if we podcast in another 3 weeks, I might just be wearing it. Top down is so easy peasy.
I have a few things, nothing specific to show, but I won a prize in a Cal. Ambah O'Brien held an Ambah X Advent 2020 Cal. And if you look in any of our December into 1st January episodes, I knit the pattern by Ambah, the Radvent Throw, which is a blanket. I knit it in my advent calendar from Playful Day, and I was randomly selected. So I have now a little shopping spree at Jilly and Kittles, which is cool because they're in Rhode Island and I'm not familiar with their yarn. So there's that. So I'm excited for that. The other thing is I won an Instagram giveaway from a different indie dyer. She's out of Texas. I really want to support people in Texas right now. So if you know dyers or vendors or stores, I don't know, it's just resonating with me to think about supporting them. And I happen to have had a winning at Chrysalis Yarn Co. She's Chrysalis, yeah, that's what she is on Instagram. It was an Instagram giveaway. So I have a little bit of shopping to do there. I haven't spent it yet because I bought so much over the holidays. And then I received a little Valentine's gift card to Chelsea Yarns. So my husband was given Chelsea Yarns as a holiday gift. And so that was where he knows to go for gifts. So maybe everything will come from there going forward. But
nice.
So I'll have a little bit of shopping to do, but first I have some knitting to knit through. So I think that's everything with acquisitions then. We wanted to talk about one more thing, which is that, we did this for fun, this whole podcasting thing. And we're enjoying doing it. We've met a lot of people through it. It's expanded our knitting knowledge and experience. And we feel like we have friends all around the world from it. It is a channel that has ad revenue attached to it, I think accidentally, or our settings changed once and ads were showing in the middle of our videos. That is not what we are here to do. Nobody's paying their mortgage on YouTube ad revenue. But we do put the money either back into the podcast. When we were together, we invested in some equipment, like a better microphone so you could hear us better. And we wanted to share that we took some of our revenues and we made a gift to the Fruity Knitting podcast. That's Andrew and Andrea, and they have a very, very immense series of over 100 different videos that is very professionally curated and produced and on all kinds of topics. I probably have only really discovered them about a year ago and started watching, but I learned so much from the richness of their videos. And Andrew is ill, and they have reached out into the community, and we made a contribution. So thank you for helping us to do that. And if you're interested and haven't heard of them, interested in their content or supporting them, that's, we're behind that too. Anything else to say on that? No.
No, it's very sad.
You
Yeah.
might recognize Kate on one of their videos. She's famous.
They
You met,
interviewed me
you
at,
met her at Vogue
Yeah.
Knitting, right?
yeah,
Last year, right? Or 2 years ago?
2019. Yeah, the last Vogue Knitting that was in person that we went to. Yes.
Okay, so it's 2020. Yeah.
No, it's 2021.
Right.
It's all a big
So-
blur.
It's 2
So I
years
think-
ago. How sad is that?
So I think that's everything for us. We hope everybody is doing well, staying healthy. We appreciate hearing from you. So feel free to give us any feedback, ask us questions, and we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.